All right, before we get started putting these covers on, there's a couple things we got to do. First up, we're going to take off all of these headrests. These are dead simple to remove. You just pull them up like that, and then there's a big button here and a little flush button there. Push them both in at the same time, and they slide right straight out. We're going to do that for all three of them, and it's a little bit easier if you fold the seat bottom up. Boom, you can pull the headrest out. Headrests are out. Now, the first piece that we're going to install is this 60 portion back cover with the armrest in it, because it's the hardest. So if we get that out of the way first, it's all smooth sailing from there. Now these fold down here. I've already released this one, but I'm going to show you what you have to do to release it. Right here is this little nubbin. So you need to fold the seat bottom up, and it'll let this seat back move away from the back of the truck. You can reach in there and catch this little nubbin with your finger. I'll show you how it works though. I've relatched the seat back against the truck so it's stuck like it's supposed to be. Now I'll show you how to get that off. You just fold this up. Now you see how that moved the seat back away from the cab so that I can get my hand down in there. And here's that little metal nubbin. Nubbin is a very official automaker term. You just pull that up, hear it click. Now that that's clicked, that's released, and then there's a loop on the outside edge of the seat here. We'll pull that, and it lets everything tip down. Now, this piece right here slides up and down. You'll need to make sure that is in the right spot when you go to latch the seat back against the cab again. Otherwise it won't latch, but it just basically needs to be where it's going to hit somewhere in here. It'll hit in here, it'll slide up in there, and then it'll latch. We're going to start by undoing all of these tabs. And then I've already undone this one, but this is where your armrest is eventually going to go through. Now I'm folding the seat back forward here, and then we're going to run the cover behind the seat belt. So now it's just roughly over the back of the seat. We'll start pulling it into place. What I'm watching for is to make sure that all these seams here are lined up with the corner of the factory seat. That way we know we're in the right spot. Now, the headrest posts, or the plastic trim where the headrest posts go down into, we're just going to squeeze the cover down over top. This helps hold the cover in place, and it also gives you a nice finished look. Makes it look nice and tidy when you're done. There we go. Now I'm just going to reach up in here, grab the armrest, pull it down like that. There we go. Now we'll fasten this up in a little bit. But first we're going to fasten all of these. So here's a tip. When you go to push these between the seat back and the seat bottom, fold it over on itself like this. Otherwise this hook fastener will catch in like the soft fuzzy carpet back here, and it will be really, really hard to get out. So just fold it over. This will let you push it right through. There, got them all pushed through. And now this little one right here, I've made sure to push it through underneath this wire. You could go over it, but I like to go under it like that, just so when we pull everything tight, it's not pinching on that wire. Now, speaking of pulling everything tight, that's what we do. Just grab these flaps, pull them up as tight as you can, because the tighter you pull them, the better your cover's gonna look. Let's go down here and do all four of them. And there we go. Ha! I had that lined up first try. Now, we're gonna take this right here and run it up underneath the armrest, and it's gonna fasten in here. There is not very much room between this armrest and the seat, so it's gonna take a little bit to get it in there. But what I do is line it up like this. See, this has got the loop fastener, so it's not gonna stick to anything. Just stick it in there, and I start working the armrest back and forth while I push that up in there. And ta-da! Came right out. And we just stick it up in there like that, and we are good to go. Now we'll just straighten this out here and make this all look nice and pretty. And boom. Just like when we put this here part together, there's not much room up in here. Only got to go up there one more time though. We're going to put this on the armrest with this oval shaped hole on top so that we can still get to your cup holders. Also, make sure you pull that little loop out the front so that way you can grab it when it's folded up. And again, I'm just going to stick this right in here and start working the armrest back and forth until I can get my hand back down there to grab that, pull it out, and bingo. It doesn't pull up very far because we want to keep that seam as close to the back of the armrest as possible. So I'm sticking it together, and there we go, we're golden. Now we'll just sort this out so it looks good in the front. Just like that. Now we'll cover the bottom. And then when you put it on, you're gonna want the flaps with these rectangles in it on top, because these rectangles go right where your car seat anchor points go, so that way you still have access to them. And then just like we did with that armrest, there's the little loop here. Push it through that hole so that way you can always release your seat when you need to fold it down. Now we're gonna wrap these two sides together. Pull it nice and tight. There we go. Now we have these two flaps here. Just like on the back, fold them over themselves like that so they don't stick to anything. And if you put the seat up part way, it gives you the most room to get your hands down through there. Just like so. And you're going right over top of those car seat anchor points. The holes in the cover are what let you access them afterwards. So now we've got both flaps down here. Just gonna pull them nice and tight and fasten them up there. Same thing here. Pull it nice and tight and wrap it up. Boom, perfect. Now sometimes happens when you put this on that your seat belt gets stuck under there. So now we unstuck it. Unstuck, just like that. Now we'll do the other side. Now we're gonna cover the seat back on the passenger side. This one's much simpler. To fold it forward, you just pull the little loop on the side and it folds forward. Since this one's pretty narrow, I like to fold it partway inside out. Just makes it easier to pull it down. There we go, like so. And then I'm gonna pull that little loop that we just pulled. It comes out the side of the cover, just like we did on the bottom on the other side. And stretch that around both of those like we did before. Fold that over on itself, and we'll run it right up in between the back and the bottom. And then with that there, we'll just pull it up tight and fasten it. Boom. There we go. Now we're gonna cover the bottom. Again, it's just like the back. It's like pulling on an oversized, somewhat stiff pillowcase. We'll put it on with these 2 holes in the top, again, for the car seat anchor points. Pull it tight, stick it up there. Boom. Just like that. On the headrests, you can put them in the seat and put them on, put the covers on. That'll make the headrest hold still, or you can do it right here like this. So it just slides over the headrest like this. This part here is on the front of the headrest, and then we'll just wrap this up like this here and stick it in. Now I'll put this headrest on the seat, and then to put it on the seat, you just slide it in there and it slides right down in. If you want to push it all the way down against the seat, just push both these buttons in and it goes down tight. And then the center headrest is a little bit different shape than the other two, but it goes on the exact same way. So we just slide the cover down over top of it. The little flap goes from the front around up into the back, and we're golden. And there we go. That's all it takes. Everything is installed and you're ready to roll.